Welcome back, like I never left. And today we are talking about Monday Night Raw hailing from Atlanta, GA. So let's get into it. So this was the Raw from Atlanta, GA, hometown of AJ Styles. Well, not the hometown of AJ Styles. I will never forget because I've been following AJ Styles all the way since Ring of Honor and TNA. That he is, of course, from a place called Gainesville, Georgia. Never heard of Gainesville, Georgia for anything else but AJ Styles, but AJ Styles, Gainesville, Georgia. I guess Atlanta, GA will do. So, celebration for AJ Styles. This is what the show is builders. All through the show, we got clips and we got tribute messages to AJ Styles. The ones for me that really kind of stood out was obviously Chris Parks, who a lot of you know from WWE Unreal. The real hardcore wrestling fans knows that Chris Parks is in fact Abyss. Some of you may have remember the character change towards the end of his career, in which he portrayed both Chris Parks and the monster Abyss, and implied that they were brothers, and that Chris Park was a lawyer or something like that, and his brother, he was trying to take care of his brother Abyss. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really matter. Abyss, a TNA legend. Everybody knows the Monster Abyss. If you don't know the Monster Abyss, then you can credit him for just about every single wrestler that you see doing the Black Hole Slam. Yeah, we get entrance of Gunther being a little bit lippy, being a little bit rude. It is what it was. But really and truly, we really start the show with a promo by QB1. That's what I'm calling him nowadays. QB1, Cody's QB1. It seems like a name that is worthwhile. I'm really getting into this idea of the guy that's kind of running at the helm. Cody does such a great job at it. Love it, love it, love it. Got nothing bad to say about it. So we start off with an Elimination Chamber qualifier: Bronson Reed versus Jey Uso versus El Grande Americano Original. Original. Chad. In any case, I expected this to be quite a good match, especially between Jay and Americano, which is mostly what we got because it turns out that Bronson Reed has injured himself, bicep torn. That's horrible, absolutely horrible, especially after remember the fact that coming off of the War Games cell last year, he shattered his ankle and was out for an entire year. He's only been back for probably about 6 months or so, if that. I think so. This is incredible, and oh my god, the vision. I mean, the vision at this point doesn't seem like a collective that you want to be a part of. Oh! Oh! Right, left, and center. Everyone in the vision is just going down. So, I mean, yeah, that's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate for the vision. Hope Seth Rollins is coming back at some point very soon because the WWE now have a problem, especially as far as it goes to the Vision. We all know the winner of that match was Jey Uso. I kind of expected it to be Bronson Reed, but I guess with the injury, I had to go with Jey Uso. It was the sensible option. Offset on Raw. Okay. Okay. I'm not impressed. I'm really not impressed. That guy is not good people. Maxine Dupree versus Natty. Um, I've spoken about this before, where they're going the direction of this. I think that Maxine Dupree has something interesting about her. I think it's about time that we put some more respect on Natty's name. So I'm glad to see her getting more matches. I think this is going to Elimination Chamber. Nothing's been built for it yet, so I guess it's not. Maybe it's going to be a WrestleMania Night One match. Maybe it's going to be a kickoff show match. Hopefully the girls can keep building at this to make it something more substantial so that they can get a proper WrestleMania spot. I would love to see that for Natty, and I'd love to see that for Maxine Dupree. Um, she performs very well and she sells exceptionally well. Sometimes I think she overdoes it a little bit. I say it's a little bit too performative, but that is the nature of the business that they're in. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but I do quite like what Maxine Dupree is doing. I like the way the match ended. It gave it some drama, some gravitas, and we'll see where these two ladies go with this from here. So let's talk about Brock Lesnar's appearance on Monday Night Raw. So Brock Lesnar, it's actually a very good idea I think they've gone with here. A lot of us are still very emotional about the breaking of the streak, knowing full well the true story behind that is that he wasn't supposed to break the streak. Accidents happen within the match. etc., etc., etc. However, the idea that after Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker, that he should now be that formidable presence that goes to WrestleMania every year, and everyone has to compete, or it's a step up kind of situation, isn't it? If you think you're bad enough to step up to The Undertaker, which is what it was every year, if you think you're bad enough to step up to Brock Lesnar, obviously they're vastly different characters, but both extremely dominant as far as the record books go as a wrestler. So therefore, I actually think it's a very good idea, especially since Brock is somewhat of a part timer. It makes sense. Um, understand, as fans, a lot of people are clamoring for Ober, especially of the face off in the ring at the Royal Rumble. But here's the thing, I don't actually think it would be a good idea. I really don't think it would be a good idea. I think WWE know this to not be a good idea as well, because there's a reason there wasn't a lot of interaction between Ober and Brock Lesnar within the Rumble. There were so many opportunities for them to actually work together to do something, and they didn't. They just kind of faced off. Now, in a lot of cases, that is the WWE trying to build something. It's them trying to grab a little bit of suspense, but I don't think that's what it was. I think if you have a match between Ober and Brock Lesnar at this WrestleMania, then Brock Lesnar has to be retiring very soon. It doesn't make sense for Ober to lose that match, because then where do you go with him as a performer on the roster? So I don't think it makes sense to have Ober versus Brock Lesnar at this point, no matter how much the fans are clamoring for that. Um, it doesn't do any of the performers any good, unless, of course, Ober wins, which it only does for Ober. Um, I guess Brock Lesnar could be safe, or would be safe as far as keeping, but the idea of the grandiose competitor at Royal Rumble that Undertaker was, Brock wouldn't be that. So the idea of him taking that spot doesn't work if he's competing against Ober. I don't think it's a good idea to have Ober versus Brock Lesnar at this point. Not at all. Ober needs to be built a little bit more before that can happen. Let's talk about Javon Evans versus Kofi Kingston. Now, this was always going to be a great match. You know, this is Kofi Kingston putting Javon over like you wouldn't believe, because both have, I guess, been in the same sphere to a certain extent at some point. Sure, Javon Evans respects the hell out of Kofi Kingston. Behind the scenes, we know what Kofi Kingston is. In front of the scenes, we know what Kofi Kingston is. So this was a great opportunity, I think, for both performers. It was a great match, great match. You knew Javon was going to come out on top. Javon's not going to lose a match until, I think, a pay per view, or maybe not even a pay per view, until a title opportunity. Until he gets his first title opportunity, I don't think he's going to lose a match. So I don't see that happening for quite some time. But great match. Javon is the stars are just aligning, and the future looks so bright for Javon. You know he's just going to do amazing things, because he just keeps pulling out moves that he's been doing for years at this point, but he just keeps doing some phenomenal stuff. He's got so much in his locker as well that you don't necessarily see everything in one match, because that spin kick off of the bottom rope that he's doing, I haven't seen that for quite some time. Like, I know he's been doing it the last couple of weeks, but even in NXT towards the end, I didn't see that. I remember him doing it early on, but I haven't seen that for a while. I think he's replaced the he does a German. He does a German suplex once get off the bottom rope. So he sits on the bottom rope. It's like a pop up, and then swivels around and then hits a German all in one fluidic movement. Um, I haven't seen him do that for a little while. So I think he might have replaced it for that pop off the bottom rope spin kick. Fantastic move, but both are fantastic moves. So yeah, we're always going to see more and more of Javon, because he is beyond just what we want from him or expect from him. He just keeps giving. He just keeps giving. So let's talk about the women's elimination chamber qualifier between Io, Kyrie, and Raquel Rodriguez. This one was an easy one to predict. To be fair, you knew Raquel had to go to the chamber. They don't have Nia in there, so it makes sense to have a big bruiser in there. Um, I think I think we're lining up for a tag team match. I think we're lining up for a tag team kind of battle royale or fatal four way or something like that at WrestleMania. So I thought it was going to be Elimination Chamber, um, but those tag titles, Rio. I mean, there's the Bellas now. There is Lyra Valkyria and Bailey. There are Lash, and like there's so many different tag teams bouncing around, especially both the Judgment Day. I mean, so I think maybe a four-way all women's ladder match or something like that at WrestleMania. I thought we would get something at Elimination Chamber. We know, I mean, from the advert, certain people have to be in certain places. And this is from the WrestleMania promo. We know certain people have to be in certain places. So we know that Io and Rhea are going to be in something. Tiffany's already lined up to what she's going to be in. Liv's already lined up to what she's going to be in now after this week at Raw. Jade Cargill. You know what I mean? So they're kind of starting to sort themselves out, these matches. As I said, from the promos, and the promo kind of gave away a lot as far as who would win certain matches and who would be in certain positions. So Raquel Rodriguez winning that match wasn't really a surprise. Speaking of Jade Cargill, I'm really finding her to be unlikable. I don't know if she's a heel. I don't know what they're doing with that as far as, yeah, I've got no idea. Obviously, the winner of the Elimination Chamber will be against Jade Cargill. I wouldn't be surprised if it is Raquel Rodriguez, actually. So, I mean, that would be an interesting twist. That would be a very good match. Raquel can work very well as a wrestler in the ring, despite her size, and that's admirable. I don't think Jade can as well. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the Elimination Chamber, but I'm really finding Jade quite unlikable at the moment. And I don't know if she's a heel. I don't know what she's doing, but I just find her generally unlikable. And I think the WWE need to sort that out. Make a decision. Is she a heel or is she not a heel? So that brings us to the end of the show where we have AJ Styles tribute. He speaks a lot about a lot of the guys he met, the Good Brothers. I love the Good Brothers so much. I thought that was a tag team that WWE completely wasted. But aside from that, a great tribute. The revelation that AJ Styles will be going into the Hall of Fame is absolutely amazing. Yes, you deserve it. You deserve it 100%. And quite frankly, I think he deserves more than that. I think people need to be getting their hammers and chisels out and be carving him right on the Mount Rushmore of greatest wrestlers of all time. Right there. Next to, is that Bruiser Brody?
There's gonna be some blood this time. There's gonna be lots of blood.
If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. You win some, lose some, and do the same to me.
Like that. Like that. Anyway, that brings us to the joke of today. Although today is not a joke of the day, it's more a collection of clips of the day, because we really, really need to talk about the Kit Wilson effect. It's all women. It's all women. It's all women.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
If you like the content, please hit like, subscribe, hit the notification button. It lets you know when I'm uploading next. This is a new thing. Said before, hit the hype button. The hype button. That's a new thing. We like that. Give me a little bit of hype. Until then, I have been the Triple Crown Champ. I'll see you next time.